Hey everybody, Jim Chester here live at the world-renowned Gonstead Clinic here in Mount Horeb, Wisconsin. I have the president of the Gonstead Foundation here. This is Dr. Tom Potisk, and he is instrumental for the preservation of the Gonstead facility. And I'm just going to let him talk a little bit about what he's been able to accomplish in a short time for the world-renowned Gonstead Clinic.
Thank you, Jim. I'm honored to be on your broadcast, and we're so glad that you had a chance, yourself and Luke, to come on out to the world-famous Gonstead Chiropractic Clinic in Mount Horeb, Wisconsin, and see what's really going on here, because I've been telling you about it for a long time, and until you see it for yourself and experience the wonderful energy here and the very special spirit, maybe of Gonstead. I don't know what it is, but everybody says there's something special at this place. Maybe it's the architecture. It's probably a little bit of everything that makes what we've got here so special. So we're happy to have you, and I really have to thank you, both you and Luke, because I know you've made a sacrifice to come here. You know, you're getting popular, and we're very glad that we got you to come on out here. So thank you very much for coming out and helping us here. What are we up to here? Well, this is the world famous Gonstead Clinic. It's a wonderful, famous, and important landmark in chiropractic. You know, we've lost so many important chiropractic landmarks. The Ryan Building, where chiropractic got started in Davenport, Iowa, and Clearview Sanitarium, which has a special story helping people with the mentally ill. That's gone. Dust. We've got a couple stories and a couple of pictures. That's it. We could go on. Spears Chiropractic Hospital in Colorado. A couple of pictures, some stories. That's all we've got. Well, we're blessed to still have this world-renowned Gonstead Clinic. And boy, is it ever world-renowned. Gonstead was the chiropractor, the adjuster. There's a new book that just hit the press now. It's called Gonstead, the Adjuster. And boy, was he ever. It's hard to match what he accomplished in his career. He died in 1978, and we're working to carry on his legacy. He attracted patients from all parts of the globe. We've got a map downstairs that maybe you can show later, where patients put a pin in a map of the world where they came from, and you can see how the pins are spread out across the world, and how Gonstead seemed to have a drawing area of planet Earth. That's how you say it. It's just incredible how he did that. So people come here because they hear about this place, and they walk through this incredible place, and it's just jaw-dropping from the moment that you walk into the waiting room, which was commonly packed with people when Gonstead was here. And as you walk through this place and you hear some of the stories, you get some questions forming in your mind, like we all do, and that is, how in the world did the guy do that here? Especially when you considered the decades that he practiced were really the darkest days of chiropractic history. And this place is not easy to get to, especially back in those days. Now we've got a better highway coming out this way, but still not that easy to get to. So here was a humble man, not really highly educated, not charismatic, not necessarily good looking, most people would agree. And here he had one of the biggest practices ever, a real chiropractic practice where people came in droves simply because of the results they got. That's what's different about the Gonstead Clinic, is Gonstead's practice was built on results. And we're blessed also to have Gonstead left us a method, an organized method called the Gonstead method. Some people call it the level disc concept, but there's a whole bunch to it, and we're still taught that because we have several chiropractors that learned from Gonstead. They're still around, they're still here. One of them still works here as a chiropractor, Dr. Doug Cox. And we're able to learn from those people, and they trained up a bunch of chiropractors that are now certified. Some of them have Gonstead diplomats, and they're teaching the younger ones. So we've got a seminar this weekend called the Gonstead Extravaganza. It's the largest seminar that we have here every year. We have several of them, and this is the largest one. We've got over 300 attendees. I think the majority of them are students from all over the United States, some of them from outside the United States, from across the seas. And they're here learning the Gonstead method because they understand what happened here and they want to learn that. So I'm honored to be the president. I'm a volunteer, but I'm the president of the C.S. Gonstead Chiropractic Foundation, which now owns this building. So it's in safe hands. It's a nonprofit foundation, and we need to raise money to restore it and preserve it. because after more than 50 years, it was built in 1964, it shows its age. Now, Gonstead, we can see, really built this place to last. The masonry and the quality of the materials, whether it's the paneling that you see in back of me or the mechanicals in the building. I mean, Gonstead really spared no expense in building this place. We have on record that he spent $800,000 to build this in 1964, and if you put that in an inflation calculator, and today's dollars to build a place like this is $6.3 million. So this is quite a building, and it takes a lot to maintain it, and we've been making good progress. When I became the president of this, I was immediately going to turn it down. They kind of voted me in without me knowing to be the president of this foundation. And I was immediately going to turn it down because I have no experience with nonprofits and I have no experience with fundraising. So the measuring tool that I placed for myself was, I'll continue if I see that people emerge to help me. That was the test. And sure enough, it didn't take long, and people started to show up that I had the answers that I needed. A person that was good with fundraising is helping us. And we've got people like Jim Chester and Luke Millett that have made sacrifices to come here and help us promote it. And we've been getting plenty of donations from the profession. Some people say that the chiropractic profession is not generous with their philanthropy. I can tell you that is not true here. We've gotten hundreds of thousands of dollars of donations from doctors that understand what has happened here, and they understand the importance of this landmark, and they're coming through, and more is coming through all the time. We've got a couple corporate sponsors now that I want to mention. ChiroTouch and T&K X-Ray and 2020 Imaging and Inception Websites, and a whole bunch of other supporters in the profession. The Titron people, the EDL Nervoscope people, you know, they're all helping us. They understand what's going on here. So we want to preserve this place, not for ourselves. No, we see the importance of this in the chiropractic profession to motivate future chiropractors as a shining example of ultra success that one humble chiropractor out in the middle of nowhere did during tough times. So if he did it, other chiropractors can certainly do it or come close to it or at least be prosperous and successful. So that's why we want to preserve this place. Also, the other reason is the principle of chiropractic is threatened more than ever before. So we want this place to stand as a bastion or as kind of a rock of Gibraltar, as I like to say, for specific, full spine, hands-on detection and adjusting of the vertebral subluxation. That still goes on here. Patients can come here, doctors come here to get adjusted, and our intention is to keep it functioning, just as Dr. Gonstead did, as a full functioning chiropractic office doing that. And we intend to keep it that way. So if you want to come here, you just look up Chiropractic Mount Horeb, look for Gonstead, and you can call, get yourself an appointment. If you want to be a donor and help us, you can go to gonstead.com, or you can look on some of my Facebook pages, which is called Gonstead Guardians. There's a Gonstead Guardians group. There's a Gonstead Guardians page. You can donate there. We appreciate every dollar that anybody can help us with, and every single penny goes to the preservation and restoration of this place to preserve it for posterity. I think that's how you'd say it.
Mm-hmm. So I had a couple questions I was thinking about as you were talking. One of them, what does it mean to you to have the people supporting the ground that we stand on?
Well, early in my career, when I was a chiropractic student at Palmer, I started to hear these stories about this incredible chiropractor somewhere up in Wisconsin that had this amazing practice that attracted people from all over the place, and that he had to build a hotel next door and had a landing strip where people would fly in. So I had to pursue that. I had to find out who that is. I want to learn about this. I want to learn from this person. So I tracked this place down, and I came for visits, and I came to take seminars, and I ended up using the Gonstead method primarily in my practice, and I thrived just with incredible prosperity during my 24 years of practice. Eventually, they put me on the board of directors because they felt I had some talent to help them manage this place, and like I said, they kind of secretly voted me in to be president. And I think when I think back, what really got me going involved here is I came to the 50th anniversary of chiropractic event. That's what it was. That's where a corner turned for me. They had a 50th anniversary just a few years ago of this clinic, honoring Dr. Gonstead and what he did here. And as I sat in that seminar room downstairs, and Gonstead built a huge seminar room right below us where there's classes going on right now, I sat there and I listened to person after person come across that stage. Some of them were staff members that worked for Gonstead. Some of them were his former patients. Some of them were associates and interns that worked for him. And some of them were his relatives. And I heard these stories about Gonstead, and as I sat there, my heart just melted. I got this feeling that I've had, and that was the fourth time that I've had of what you call a pulling on your heartstrings. We talked about that. And I hope everybody listening to this at some point in your life has an experience of feeling the pulling on your heartstrings, because when you feel that, then you know you're dealing with something, a profound truth that you're going to have to act on, or it's going to keep bothering you. I think it's God sending you a message. And for me, it feels like somebody's reaching in there and just kind of squeezing. So I'm sitting there listening to all these people, and I'm feeling that squeezing of my heart, and I decided right there and then, I got to get involved in this place, and I got to help them somehow. So that's how I got involved on the board of directors. And now, with all these people stepping up to help us, and I see the progress being made here, and I see all the people coming to learn, I still get that feeling that I had at that seminar. And that's just such a wonderful feeling. That's why I got to stay involved, because I want to keep that.
I know that there's generations that are going to start benefiting from the work that we're doing today and from the information that you're sharing today. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that are supporting. But earlier I interviewed a gal that's been working here she's the third generation to not be a doctor here, but she grew up in this community, and her grandmother worked here, her mother worked here. So this clinic is something very special. And for all of you out there that aren't running a Gonstead style facility, something that you might just be very proud of your own practice, I just have a quality message for you. Is if you are somebody out there that's practicing chiropractic and you want to be somebody that is the cornerstone for your community, think about not only the people you take care of today, but think about giving life to those people that are having kids today, and then giving life to the kids that they're having from that generation. And the reason I say that is because I interviewed a guy earlier, Jack Rosser. He has been practicing for 52 years. And if you guys can think the magnitude of effort that it goes in to practicing 1 year, let's amplify that times 52 and think about the life that he's provided, quality of life to people in his community, which he is, I believe, right outside of the Chicago area. I think he said something like Evanston or something. Maybe I'm wrong. But to be that type of caregiver in that community, that's the point that I'm getting to, is you guys are giving so much to your communities and through your service of care for the chiropractic family that you build. But think about what Gonstead did. Where was his reach? His reach was all humanity. So when you think about what you're doing and the service that you're providing, that guy, Jack Rosser today, he's still seeing 100 patients a week at 81 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a perfect example. Some of these guys that worked with Gonstead, they're still active here once again, because I'm sure they feel that pull of the heartstrings too about what has gone on here, and they want to keep getting that feeling, because I think it gives some youthfulness to you. It just keeps you going. That's what you thrive on, and that's a wonderful foundation to operate on when you identify one of those profound truths that you're called to act on. If you find that and keep that, I think you're going to have a pretty good and successful life.
So if you guys are interested in helping perpetuate the preservation and the longevity of this Gonstead practice up here in Mount Horeb, how can they help you do that?
There's a lot of ways that you can help us. Some that can't give financially, they just come here and share their talents. They might, maybe they've got some electrical talents. We have one doctor who helped us rewire all the lights that were 50 years old and shorting out and needed some new connections. We have another doctor that comes out because he likes to do some landscaping, and we needed to trim up some bushes and plant some new bushes, and he came out and helped us with that. If you can do both, that's even better. I like to do both. I like to get my hands dirty and get active, so I give financially, and I give in ways that I can help the building wherever I can fix it, and I help to manage it. So maybe you could say I'm helping in 3 ways. So we appreciate any help anybody can get. If you can share this video with your followers, with your friends and followers, that's one way you can help us, because we're amazed how many people still don't know that this place is here. We run into people that say, I thought that closed years ago, because there were some rumors that it was going to get torn down at one point. It had deteriorated to that point, we almost lost it, and we're not going to let that happen again. So there's a lot of different ways that you can help us. We appreciate all of it. If you can help us financially, then like I said, you can go to Gonstead.com. There's a place you can donate there. You can send a check directly to the clinic. Just look up the address on the internet. Or you can go on the Gonstead Guardians Facebook page or group, and you can donate there also.
Well, Dr. Tom, thank you for sharing your information and charge that you've put into this facility and what it means for you to be a part of this greater Gonstead family. And I know that there's so many people out there that might not know what Gonstead stood for, but when you think about the amount of time he worked on a day-to-day basis, he wasn't just a chiropractor. He was something bigger than life. And to be in his private office right now doing these interviews, it's very special for me to be in, the cradle of Mount Horeb, of what it meant for anybody to get adjusted. They came here, and people came from far and wide to come here. They came in all facets of transportation to come here. So being here at one of the cornerstones of the chiropractic profession, not just thinking about the Palmers, which were integral to the development of this beautiful profession that we call chiropractic. But then when you think about the perpetuation of the profession, and what did you call him? The adjuster. And when you're in the office of the chiropractic adjuster, that's something special. And I think that what they've done here to rehab this facility to the point of grandeur and to the point of thriving, not just surviving, just like we want our bodies to do. And that's why chiropractic is so vital to the advancement of humanity and to giving people the best potential for themselves and their families to not deal with the aches and pains and the concerns of health, but to be able to have a better quality of life to where they can make an impact not only on themselves, but a lot of the conversation that we had today was based on generational. So we want to preserve this clinic for generations to come. So when they know about, it's like removing the pyramids, okay? If you were to go and remove the pyramids, that's what it would be like not to have the Gonstead Clinic. And there would be a part of the chiropractic history that would be erased. And like Dr. Potisk said, we've lost the sanitarium, the Clearview Sanitarium. We've lost the Ryan Building. We've lost the Spears clinic out there in the first chiropractic hospital.
The chiropractic hospital.
Out in the Colorado area. I mean, we have to preserve this landmark facility for the future generations. And so people can continuously learn the specificity of the Gonstead technique and know why chiropractic should thrive and not just kind of, the chiropractor needs to know how important they are. And I think that this is an example of that. And Dr. Tom, thank you for spending some time with me.
You're very welcome. I want to just add one more thing, that
Sure.
Also any of you are welcome to come out here, take a tour at any time, really. Just stop by during the normal business office hours. It's best if you let us know that you're coming so we're not so surprised. But any of the staff would be happy to walk you through the clinic. You can come here into Gonstead's private office. We've still got his original desk and his original chair and his original diplomas and a whole bunch of neat chiropractic Gonstead memorabilia. If you want to go just up the road and see the cemetery where Gonstead's tombstone is, you can see that, because on his tombstone it says, it pretty much sums it all up for Dr. Gonstead. It says, find the subluxation, adjust it, and then leave it alone. And that's what he did.
So with that being said, I just want to thank everybody that's been on this live stream with Dr. Tom and myself. And I just want to let you know that if you are interested in coming and walking in the history path of Clarence Gonstead, his diploma's on the wall behind me. And this place is a living museum that actually functions as a full facility of a chiropractic clinic. You're one story away. Just keep hustling.